better not fuck up. I'm so upset. Just saw the intro. Yeah. Hey Jarvis, sing me a waltz. Welcome to the Sunday Movie Marathon. It's been a while, hasn't it?
I like the little inside joke at the top there that no one other than Ed and Anne will understand.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it was the day after Valentine's Day we did this marathon, wasn't it?
Valentine's Day weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I'm recording this over a month later just because of a lot of just life happens.
Yeah. It seems like something happened every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we tried it the first week. My mics got fucked up by the rain.
That was your own fault?
Yeah. But it still happened. And then someone was ill. Then someone else was ill.
Yeah, all three of us got.
Well, I went to the hospital.
Yeah, Max had to go to the hospital.
Pretty valid.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the most valid probably. I was just under the weather.
Yeah. Oh well.
Now here we are.
But we're here now.
Finally.
Broken men.
But we remember all these movies, right?
No, to be fair, I do because I've seen them before, but that day is a bit hazy because sort of by the end of the first film, start of the second film, I'd had a few beverages and I was a bit all over the gaff.
We were out like all weekend, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a heavy weekend
Friday
anyways.
to Sunday.
Yeah.
We were just out drinking. It was heavy. Why do we do it to ourselves?
For a laugh.
For a laugh?
See your mates, have a laugh.
I'm still a bit under the weather, so if I'm coughing, that'll be why. I want to just like annoy everyone, but it's the only time we could do it. If we didn't do it today, probably we'd never do it again.
Yeah.
We just have to skip that one.
Yeah. But no, I'm glad we're doing it because I love these films and it'll be good to talk about them.
The Before trilogy, that's the preamble. We're done with that. The Before trilogy. I showed some movies. Richard Linklater brought out one movie back in the day, in the 90s. It was called Before Sunrise. And then he did another one where he got the gang back together. He goes, hey guys, what if we did another one? That was in the 2000s. And then another one in the 2010s. He goes, let's do this one now. And in 1 year's time, he'll do the next one.
I hope so. I don't think they are though. Isn't he making another like Boyhood type film where it's being filmed over like 12 years or something?
I think this one's like over 20 years. He's already been filming it for like 8 or 9 or something.
Okay, brilliant. So I could be dead by the time that film comes out. That's a terrifying thought.
It's just so risky though. What if it's just shit?
I feel like he could be dead.
Yeah. A lot of people could be dead.
To be fair, Boyhood was like kind of sick, so.
Yeah, Boyhood's a weird one for me. I do enjoy it, but also I'm kind of like, you definitely could have just done this with other actors.
Yeah, he could have done, but he didn't.
Yeah.
I saw that in the cinema, skipped college for it, had a great time.
Nice. I watched it on a plane to New York. Probably not the intended way to watch it.
And I've never seen it. Anyway, Before Sunrise, that one came out in 1995, stars Ethan Hawke, Julie Delpy. They meet on a train to Vienna. And they fall in love. It was a fortuitous Valentine's Day weekend. We watched this.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make ourselves feel really, really good. So that's why we watched these. Some of my favourite movies ever. I thought, if there's any trilogy we're going to do at some point, it's definitely going to be the Before trilogy. Surprised we haven't done it. 20 years we've been doing this podcast. We've still never done it. So yeah, we're doing it now. We've all seen it. We all think it's of a good movie, right? What do we think of Before Sunrise? And what's our sort of, history with it?
It was one of my favourite films. It is still one of my favourite films.
Yeah.
But it was on my Letterboxd top 4 for a good 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
I love this film. I went to Vienna specifically because of this film. Went and visited sort of some of the filming locations.
On your gap year?
Yeah, gap 2 months.
Gap 2 months.
I did not meet a nice French girl on the train, which I'm still gutted about.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I know, because I was like...
That's why you got to do it again.
Yeah.
Well, this film kind of ruined that for me, because I was like, sick, I'll just go travelling for 2 months, and obviously I'll have a Before Sunrise moment.
Yeah, they did it in one day.
Yeah, and I was out there for 2 months. I didn't meet fucking anyone.
Did you have your headphones in all the time?
No, not all the time, to be fair. I did even carry some books with me, and I read some books on the train. not to be like performative or anything, but like I genuinely was like, well, I'm on the train from Paris.
That's how it happened to them.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I was on a train from Paris to Milan, and it was like an 8-hour train journey. So I was like, better have some books for that.
Perfect time to read loads of books about feminism to catch it. Catch the female gaze.
Oh, not in France, mate. They're not that they're not feminists in France. That sounds wrong, but just French women. They're scary.
Really?
Yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
They're lovely, but they're like.
What do you mean they're scary?
Because it's like, I don't know how to describe it. They know what they like. Jesus, they know what they like.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't got a chance,
and it's like, you can't just slip through the net.
Yeah, and you don't know what you like.
And that's my whole thing. I just slip through the net.
Yeah.
I'm just one of them geezers. I slip through the net, and they're like, I guess this guy's all right. Whereas if the French girl say, look at me, and go, weird. And I'm like,
wait, what?
I mean shit in French.
Oh, right. I thought you said weird, but with a strange sort of Soviet accent.
Merde.
Merde.
That's merde.
Merde.
That's my French.
Merde.
I don't think either of you are nailing French there.
Mate,
you were out there for 2 months.
Not in France. I was only there for like 4 days in Paris.
You couldn't even learn how to say their famous word.
Tell a lot. Why am I talking about? I went to Vienna for this. I was in Paris. I went to loads of filming locations for the second film as well.
Yeah,
I've been out here, and I've been to Greece
out here
multiple times. Don't think that part of Greece that they're in.
No.
Is it Athens they're in?
I think so.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
I've flown into Athens because it's like the main airport.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
yeah.
I love this film. It's sick.
It's great.
What's not to love?
What's not to love? Last Valentine's Day, I saw this alone in the cinema, and everybody was not alone, but I think I was the only one who was. I had a great time. It's just one of those, I think. Watched it so many times. Makes you believe in love. It makes you think that love really is out there. Of course, it's all, a fictional story.
I think so. This is my thing with it now. It used to be my favourite of the trilogy. I'm not sure it is anymore, because when I used to watch it and really like it, I was similar age to the characters in the film. So I think they're 23, 24. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Love's brilliant, isn't it?
Brilliant.
And now I'm like, I relate more to them we'll get to it, but I relate to them more in Before Sunset, where they're a bit more jaded about life.
I think I watched all three of these films for the first time like during COVID, because for me that was like sort of when I was really expanding sort of my taste in film, watching foreign movies, watching movies by like directors I'd heard of rather than just whatever was popular. That was kind of where I was really expanding sort of my taste. So I think I got in, like, watched these because I heard they were like some of Richard Linklater's best, and I loved Boyhood and School of Rock.
School of Rock is class, to be fair.
Very different to School of Rock. Very different vibe.
Not as good.
Not well. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I disagree.
Something completely different, something else entirely. Yeah.
School of Rock is brilliant, though.
School of Rock's a great movie. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't relate. I relate much more to the second one now than I do the first one, but I think that's growing up, and I think maybe in 10 years' time we'll watch these again and we'll go, maybe I relate a bit more to the third one.
I hope not.
Possibly.
I bloody hope not.
There's a lot of conversations, a lot of topics that they bring up, and just like the way that they talk to each other in Before Sunrise is very sort of youthful and carefree, and it's like optimistic in the way that young people can be, and maybe not the way that I was when I was that age, but that's when you're out in a foreign country and you're traveling, that's like the dream. So I think there's still, as I don't know if like relatability is what you want to get from it, but it's certainly like a good time capsule. It's good to watch these again at different points in my life and sort of see, interpret them differently, or like understand the characters in a different way. There's nothing quite like this in cinema, where you get these three movies that chronicle these characters in this amount of time, or like in a certain way. It's only like sort of snapshots. I do like movies that give you characters in a very specific time frame. So I really enjoyed these for that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're kind of like, there's not much plot to this film before Sunrise, or any of them really. It's more just like you watch them walk around this European city and just have sort of like, I guess, like philosophical conversations, questions about like love, life, the future.
Yeah,
and
because when you're so young, that's all you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
You've not really gone through anything or gone through much.
Yeah.
All you can have are these like sort of philosophical conversations about life and like the grander schemes of life. That's definitely like what I was like growing up. That's what we would talk about with friends or partners. You just go, yeah, what's life going to be like? And that's, yeah, definitely a part of the this movie is that optimism, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Nice voice crack there.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out. Edit that out.
Nah.
No, pick this up now. Yeah. Yeah, no, I do. I think it's a difficult film. They're difficult films to talk about because, like I said, there's not much plot. It's very character driven.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I have a few favourite scenes which I really like.
Go.
So like, it's the first one on the train. I guess the meet cute.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he kind of does this whole spiel about, oh, imagine in 10 years' time, you're with your husband and you're thinking, oh, I'm so glad I got off the train with that guy because he was an idiot in your class. And it's like, he kind of like, that's not verbatim.
Yeah.
That'd be the Pompey version.
That would have been the line you would have used to chat with the French kid on
And
the
she would have
train.
looked at me and been like, go away. But yeah, no, I love that scene. I love the scene in the listening booth.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of into each other at that point and he's like sort of playing with her hair, but they won't make eye contact. I've been to that record shop as well.
Mm-hmm.
The listening booth's not there anymore, but they do have a big poster of the film on the back wall, which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was right by my hostel.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 2-minute walk away from my
That's
hostel.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
I like that scene. They don't talk. It's just about the looks.
Exactly.
A lot of this is about the atmosphere and the vibes,
Yeah.
the looks that they give each other. You don't have to explicitly communicate things through dialogue. We watched them, Jesse and Celine, grow closer together over the course of, a day. And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily what they're talking about, but how they talk to each other and how they interact with each other. And that's, you watch them fall more in love, not because of what they're saying, but because of how they feel.
Yeah. But I like it that it's not like, it is a bit idealised, but it's not properly idealised because, I mean, they have disagreements and like sort of arguments throughout.
Yeah, I feel like most of their conversations where they're talking about philosophy and stuff, they are kind of disagreeing on things. But maybe like that's kind of why they're connecting so much because they're able to have these conversations because they sort of think this deeply about these sort of things.
Yeah, those are the most interesting conversations I think you can have with another person is when you're not all the way there agreeing with each other. You do butt heads a bit. Certainly the most interesting sorts of conversations I've had with people are ones that where I've come away thinking, God, I've actually maybe changed my mind on certain things, or like that was more interesting because we didn't feel a certain way explicitly. Even like in this like podcast that we do.
Yeah, I was going to say that's why this episode is going to suck because we all love these.
We all love it. That's the trouble.
Do you think we've maybe lost that? Because it's like, so this is a very single thing to think about, but obviously they have disagreements, but they have like these conversations and it's never an argument. But I find on dating apps and stuff like that, you have to, it's like you pick, do you drink? Yes, no, kind of. Do you smoke? Yes, no, kind of. What are your thoughts on religion, politics? And it's like, are we missing out on like people because the algorithm is like forcing us together with these quote unquote perfect matches where we just agree on everything? Is that sustainable? Or do we need a bit of disagreement? Do we need a bit of back and forth with someone?
It takes a lot of the mystery out of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because you know what you're getting.
Half
It's
the fun of meeting someone new and getting into, relationships, whether that be, platonic or romantic, is in the act of trying to understand one another. But if you already have like a preloaded thing where it tells you like a dossier on another person, you feel like you've been given their information before. It's like, well, I already know enough about you, or I know these certain things about you. There's no air of mystery there. So I don't really like dating apps.
But I guess even from that, you don't know everything about a person.
No.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm just saying that because I met my partner on a dating app. But I feel
I'm not trying to slag them off.
Still like,
not your partner.
There's still like a lot of things that we didn't know about each other that we still learn, and we still have disagreements on things as we learn about our opinions on things and have deeper and deeper conversations.
Yeah. Because I'll be honest, this film, when I first watched it, it made me like delete all the dating apps, and I was like, do you know what? No. You can never meet anyone on a dating app.
And then after that, you went out of your way to try and meet people in real life, yeah?
No.
Oh.
You're just like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm meeting people.
Kind of just coasting. If it happens, it happens. If not, it doesn't.
Just wait till you have a conversation with someone on a train.
Yeah.
Then you're golden.
I've had conversations with people on trains, but
it's always been arguments and I've had to try and stop you.
Yeah. The less we say about that, the better, I think. But no, like, I think the writing, the script is like very good and very sort of
feels natural.
Yeah, it doesn't feel forced. All the conversations feel natural. And I'm assuming there was probably a fair bit of ad-lib in there because it's just two actors sort of like, I can't imagine it's verbatim dialogue.
No, I'm sure they had to shift things around a bit, but I do know, I mean, it was written by Linklater and Kim Krazan.
Yeah.
But then I think as they developed these movies, Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke started to get a lot more involved in the writing process.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of like what they're having like conversations about, what if I said this? What if I said that? Would that make this character fall in love with this character? And then they'd come back and be like, Julie Delpy would come back and say, no, if you said that, I probably just leave. There was like a conversation they had where like, you have to say something very specific to get her off the train. And Ethan Hawke's like, well, what if I said this? And she goes, no, I wouldn't do that. So they went through like, it's just like over and over again. Yeah. I think, I don't know if I would say that there was a lot of ad-libbing. It's just like very, very meticulously done.
They like workshopped it for a long time.
Workshopped it for
I
ages.
think in like terms of a lot of the dialogue, it's very sort of, at least this era, Linklater, like very similar to some of his other movies, like something like Waking Life, where it kind of feels like he's kind of got all these thoughts and he's written them down and tried to make conversation out of his own thoughts.
Yeah. Because isn't it based on like an experience he had?
Yeah.
And it was like he met a girl, they spent the night together, and then they never saw each other again. And
I think it's literally like this movie is basically based on a real life experience he had traveling.
He said that later he found out that she had died about 2 weeks later.
Yeah, like a motorcycle accident or something. Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But this is very idealistic, I think.
Yeah.
This is a very idealistic movie.
I think, didn't he say he kind of made the movie in the hopes that she would see it and get in contact with him?
It all feeds into itself.
That's guy.
That's what the second movie is about.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, like, and I think the characters of Jesse and Celine, obviously you've got Ethan Hawke playing Jesse and Julie Delpy as Celine. I think they do come across as fully fledged characters with like a past and a history that they're carrying into this. And some of it gets revealed throughout the night, some of it doesn't, and you kind of get it in the second and third films, but they feel like fully fledged people, which makes a change from sort of a lot of films in this vein where they are just one-dimensional characters and it's, oh, man must love woman.
Yeah, and I quite like the fact that you don't learn all about these characters in this film.
Yeah.
because it's so much about sort of the fact that they've got such a limited amount of time together. Like there's that scene quite early on where they meet those two guys on the bridge that like invite them to the play, and then like at the end of the movie when they like go into the train station, they're like, wait a second, we never actually went to that play. It's kind of like they had such little time together, they couldn't experience everything, they couldn't get to know each other as intimately as they could have done. So I think that kind of ties into us not learning everything about them and learning everything about their past.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't know everything about a person from that short a time frame.
No.
But that's why it feels very idealistic, because you only really get the version of them that they are able to present within that 24 hours or however long it was, probably even less. It's and no wonder they come away and they're like, okay, well, we might never see each other again. So they're just like hardcore making out. Like this is like the last time we get to do this, and it's it is very idealistic. I think as like young people, they make a lot of mistakes. And they don't exchange information, and they don't see each other again at the end, and you're left with like that wondering. So it's like, okay, so it's like 8 years later they bring out the second movie, but between that, can you imagine that just having to wait like 8 years, or like not knowing if they're gonna do another one? Because I don't think they were immediately.
No,
they had to. Oh, you know what? Yeah, actually, we'll do another one. But that's like
people would have died.
Yeah,
the only thing they would have known was that ending. Yeah,
yeah. I really love that ending though. That's like the whole point of it, because you don't know. You do have to take a chance. And it's all about like these characters taking chances and just sort of trying to get to know each other and try to figure out what they like about each other. But yeah, and again, you don't know that much about somebody just from 24-hour period. I've definitely met people who I thought were like really interesting, but only knew for a very short amount of time. But the more you get to know someone, obviously, the more you might find out about them that you don't like or that you do like even more. But that's, I appreciate that about these movies. Is like, as we go along with each movie, they start learning more about each other.
Yeah. Well, I've claimed that I've had a before sunrise experience. You two vehemently disagree. But hey, to each their own.
What did you have?
And I just want to say that if there's a girl from London who lives in the King Cross area, listening to this podcast, let's meet up in 8 years' time. See where we're at.
No, that wasn't a before sunrise moment.
Hey, to me it was. In 8 years' time, we'll meet up. All right?
All right. Sure.
No, this is my plea now. She'll listen to this podcast episode in like 5 years' time and be like, oh, fuck, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
And
even though we exchanged numbers.
Yeah, but I think I was specifically told.
Yeah.
She was like, nah.
Leave me alone.
Not at the moment. No, it wasn't a leave me alone. It was like, it was complicated.
Yeah.
She was dealing with some stuff, relationship-wise. Yeah.
It's, I do think we have these sorts of experiences and moments in our life, and I've had a few. I think it's like, yeah, it does get you like sort of sentimental and idealistic about love and hope. And I think this is like such a great movie for that, in like sort of believing in the possibility of love and making you more hopeful. As much as I think it's quite idealistic, I do still think it carries itself very well, and it doesn't ever get bogged down with like being like too much, or like being too sappy.
Oh yeah, 100%. It has this sort of sappy moments, but a lot of the time it's very grounded and
it feels more real than a lot of romance movies in this sort of vein do. Where they are very heightened emotions, very, very sappy. These characters feel like real people having this real interaction.
Yeah. Because you can imagine, can't you, sort of, if this was just a standard film, you would have got to that ending scene, they would have been making out, she would have got on the train, and then last minute...
Yeah, she'd get off the train.
Yeah, she'd get off the train and like fly home with him or some bollocks, and it'd be a whole thing.
Yeah. No, but that would rob so much of the romance of it.
Yeah.
It's like...
And sometimes those one night things, they're like the best experiences. Even if they didn't pick it up, even if they didn't make that second film, it's like these characters I bet would have looked back in like 20 years time and gone, I remember that night. That was a good night.
Yeah.
And that's what life's about, man. The good nights.
That what you were thinking about?
Huh?
That what you were thinking about when you were watching this?
As he was sinking his fifth
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
Yes, you were.
And just going, hey Jarvis, and making
Yeah.
stupid jokes the whole
You
time.
were down bad, man.
What, when we were watching this?
Yeah.
What was I saying? Well, be careful here.
It was just like there's the sentimentality of it and the romance. You're like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
This movie.
I think...
She's so good looking.
Yeah, I think I've been played with bad timing. So I like meet people I connect with, but the timing's not right. And it's just like it fizzles out and ends. And it's just like, I can kind of relate to it in that aspect where it's like they were like really good for each other, but it can't work out until it does in 8 years' time. King's Cross.
King's Cross.
King's Cross.
We'll all be there.
Yeah.
Me and Chris hiding in a bush somewhere.
No.
With
Binoculars at the ready.
No.
See how that goes.
I think watching this trilogy, it got me thinking about things, and it's like, does it ever work out?
Well, depends what your metric is, I suppose.
Just to meet someone that you have that kind of relationship with, and you can speak honestly to them, and it's a good back and forth. You don't even necessarily have to like get married, have children, but just like a partner, someone that's with you through life, sticks with you through the good and the bad.
I've heard that's real. I'm not too sure though.
But to be fair, it also got me thinking about, so it wasn't just relationships, it was friendships as well.
Yeah.
And we watched this with our two friends, Ed and Anne.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of the best Sundays I've ever had in my life, because it was like, I don't know, it was just great hanging out with them, watching some films.
It was
obviously
definitely
hanging
the
out with
best
you guys as well.
experience I've had watching these movies.
Yeah. And I was like, hey,
even despite all the tears.
Yeah, but that was inevitable.
But it's cringe to say it. I love you guys. I love you all. You're all
love you
class.
too.
Love you too.
And I'm very lucky to have you guys in my life. And it got me thinking about stuff like that as well. And it's like, I'm glad I have these friendships that like we've grown over the years and we've nurtured. And hey, if it doesn't work out in a relationship, you've always got your pals.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah. But that's not what these films are about.
No.
They're just about them.
But it's very human.
Yeah.
I think you get thinking about like the more human aspects of these relationships and how like it doesn't, you can't always work it out, or you can't always be where you want to be, but you build up these networks of people. Yeah, I was thinking about.
Yeah, you have like connections with people. Yeah, exactly.
I think it was very special to watch it with all our friends.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Cool, that got deep, didn't it?
That got deep.
It's only going to get deeper.
Yeah, when we go down the rabbit hole, let's rate Before Sunrise. Get on to the next one.
What are we going to rate out of?
King's Cross.
King's Crosses.
No, let's not do that. Actually, that might freak her out.
Vienna's.
Vienna. Yeah, we'll do them out of the cities they went to.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Sure. Yeah, it's one of my favourite movies. I think we know which way these are going to go, either way, ratings wise. But yeah, very happy to have discussed it finally. Feels like one of those essential movies that we needed to talk about. Before Sunrise definitely gets a 10 Viennas out of 10 from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love this movie. Gonna say something controversial off the bat. I do think it's my least favourite of the trilogy, but considering how much I love it, that does say a lot. Because I still think it's 10 Viennas out of 10. I think it's a perfect movie.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to go 10 Billy Joels out of 10. Do you see what I've done there?
Yeah.
Because he's got a song called Vienna.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's 10 Viennas out of 10.
Yeah, all right. Okay, Before Sunset came out in 2004, right? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something, whatever.
So was that 11 years later? Or 9, because it was 95 Before Sunrise. Okay,
yeah, I think they were all 9 years apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're back, baby. This one is about them meeting again after not having seen each other. Ethan Hawke's character Jesse, he has written a book and he's on a book tour and he stops off in Paris. And who happens to be at the Paris book tour but Celine, They meet again, and it's more talking about what they've been up to and their lives. This is a lot more. I wouldn't say it was less romantic, but it's definitely their relationship now is that they're both in relationships. Jesse's got a kid, and they're both at very different points in their life, now in their 30s. So, yeah, this was the first movie of the bunch that I ever watched. It was
you watched it out of order?
On a DVD in CEX. I picked it up and I watched it. I thought that was very good. Don't know what a lot of what they were talking about was about, but sure, I enjoyed it.
So, just out of curiosity, did you without watching the first film, did you kind of get the vibe of the first film from the discussions in the second film? Did you get that there was like a history there?
Well, yeah, because they say we've got a history.
Yeah, but did you feel the history where it was like, okay, that was a special connection, and it was like, we're revisiting this now, and it's kind of a bit more cynical and a bit more sleazy in a way?
Yeah, it's weird to watch this one first, I think, but you do still get that chemistry.
That's cool.
They are still very much, it's, again, you can tell they're in love, but like, it's not like when they were in their early 20s, it's a lot more like their conversations are like respectful, and they're talking to each other, and yeah, I think there's like that, like the way in which they talk to each other is very like, God, there's like, you could cut this with a knife. It's so like the chemistry is still like impeccable, but it carries a different vibe to it for sure, where they're like trying to just like talk as friends, but there's obviously that's something similar.
Yeah, there's like an undertone to it. Yeah. I think that's what this film is. It's like they're trying to be friendly and be like, oh, it's just nice to meet up with you after this amount of time, to begin with anyways, and then sort of slowly throughout the film the romantic undertones come out, and then they start admitting things, and Jesse's unhappy in his marriage. She's unhappy because she's just never had a connection with a guy that she kind of had with him, and it ends up becoming a bit more romantic, I guess.
There's there's a bit in the film where they're making, like, Ethan Hawke's character Jesse makes a joke about having sex with her on a bench. Literally, like, as soon as the scene ends, she just like starts asking him about like his wife and kid and stuff. And I always find the way it switches between those two like so interesting, how 1 second they're like all flirty and stuff, and then suddenly they're just back to being friends, like talking about each other's lives. Like, she already kind of knows about him and knows like his life and stuff through the fact that he's like a famous author now.
Yeah. And he's written a book about her.
Yeah.
Quite weird, quite strange. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, but he probably wrote it thinking, right, enough, because he must have written this in the last couple of years of his life at this point. He's probably like, well, she wasn't there when we went to revisit in Vienna. Enough time has passed now where she probably is never going to reach out or just doesn't care. So why the fuck not? It's a good story.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get why he did it.
He wanted to find her, I think. That's what he said.
Do you reckon?
He said on some level, I think I wrote that book.
Yeah.
Hoping that you'd come to a book reading.
Well, he smashed it then, didn't he?
He smashed it. But obviously they've gone through all this stuff now, and he's like married, he's got a kid.
Yeah.
They're talking about like less philosophical things and more like things, like more tangible things that they're doing with their lives and the stuff
heavy life
actually
shit
happening.
Yeah.
They talk about like aging and growing up and like, do I look any different? Yeah, you've got this weird line on your forehead and all that, and it's there's still that like playful banter, but it's like they're like adults, like proper adults now.
Yeah,
they're doing things that are that they can have more like actual conversations about, rather than sort of hypothetical things that they were having conversations about in the first movie.
I think there's like a weird like prophetic link between this film and Before Sunrise, whereas like in Before Sunrise you've got the scene with the palm reader, and Jesse says like he wasn't happy with it. He kind of like thinks it's all bullshit, which is fair enough. And he's like, I wish one day they'd just go up to someone and go, oh, you'll have like no new loves, no new experiences, and you'll live the rest of your days
just like this one.
Yeah. And it's like, they kind of both feel like that in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it's a weird parallel just to see how jaded they've become in the last sort of 8 or 9 years, whatever it was. And how it all kind of explodes in the last sort of 10 minutes where he kind of just stops giving a fuck and he's like, I've let you go once. I can't let it happen again. And she is obviously like into him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird one. It's much more cynical. That's what I mean. I feel like I relate to it a lot more now than I did back in the day.
I think this is one of the sexiest movies ever made. And I think it's the sexiest movie of the trilogy because like there's, you know, when you watch like sex in a movie, there's a way to do it where it's like, okay, do you understand why this is sexy? Why this would turn someone on? But, and you can either show that very explicitly or you can show it in a way where there's like the suggestion of it. And I think what I find so intriguing and sexy about this movie is just that they are in their own relationships with other people, but also they do have all this history and they've grown up so much. So it's like but they still, you just know they love each other. And every time there's like a bit of like eye contact or like they touch each other in some way. It's like anytime they touch each other in this movie, I'm like, I could be on the floor. It's insane. The sexual chemistry is absolutely on fire.
No, I completely agree. It's kind of like In the Mood for Love in the way that like has no sex, no kissing or anything like that, but it's such a sexy movie. And this is kind of the exact same.
Yeah.
Like Before Sunrise has far more kissing and sort of moments of intimacy, but I think this one manages to do it in such a subtle way where even when they're not touching and stuff, there's still like an aura there. You can still feel this connection and this attraction between these two people.
Yeah. There's more yearning.
Yeah.
There. I think when they were like younger and they met each other, it's like, we're both like young and hot and single. Why wouldn't we be going crazy over each other? Why wouldn't we be touching each other at all times? It's like, but in this, it's like they feel like they have to be more restrained, or like because there's certain expectations on them as regards the lives that they've been living without each other. But it's like, there's a specific moment in Before Sunrise where they're on the tram and Celine is talking about something, and Jessie like reaches out to like sort of do her hair back out of her eyes, but she like turns around and he just like retracts his hand.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck, that's insane. And there's a mirror image of that in Before Sunset, where they're in the taxi together, and Jessie is talking about how he's like upset with his life and how he loves his son, but he's not in love with his wife anymore. And he had like a dream. He keeps having a dream where Celine is pregnant and won't touch him. And he's like almost sobbing, and she like reaches her hand out to touch him, and then he like inhales and like looks towards her, and she retracts her hand again. I'm like, fuck, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of good moments of symmetry between the two. Mm-hmm. Like sort of instances like that. And it kind of makes like a nice link between the two, but it also shows off like, I would say like how much more sort of jaded and cynical and sort of sad they've both become, because it's like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with you guys about the sexiness.
No.
Because to me, I feel like it's like sort of...
Well, I can tell you keep calling it cynical, but I don't get that at all from it.
But it's like, I feel like they're suppressing that, because for the majority of the film, it's just two friends catching up. And obviously there's an undercurrent of it, but I don't think anything really happens till they get on that sort of boat.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. It's like instant for me.
Well, because the one scene I think about a lot in that sort of aspect is when they're on like the high sort of walk thing through Paris. And he sort of sits on a bench and like jokingly pulls her onto his lap, and she immediately like is like, sort of, what are you doing?
Really?
And pushes herself off and sits down, and it's like the undercurrent is there, but she's clearly like, no, well, I can't pursue this. And he gets like this look of regret on his face. He's like, oh fucking hell, why did I do that? So to me, it's like, I don't know. I'm not going to say the least sexy one, because that's definitely Before Midnight.
I think there's just like maybe a lot of conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
I feel like watching it, you can feel that like as soon as they see each other again, that these feelings sort of flood back and they like sort of remember why they had this experience to begin with. But at the same time, because of where their situations are and the fact that they like both have partners and stuff, like as soon as sort of their conscience kicks in, they're like, no, can't do this. So I feel like there's like sort of a lot of push and pull where, and as the movie kind of goes on, they start to sort of pull a lot more and like sort of accept how they feel and stop trying to deny it.
Yeah, I don't think when they're on the bench together that like her pushing herself off his lap is like rejection. I think it's like it's like a lot, you know.
I guess it feels like a rejection to me because it makes me cringe.
Really?
Yeah, because I kind of look at it and I go, oh, why have you done that? You've only been speaking to her 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But then they are talking about like, it's like, what if it was the end of the world? What would we do now? Do you like that conversation where they're talking about the end of the world and he's like, well, I guess if it was the end of the world, we'd just have to find a hotel and fuck until everything explodes.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's cynical. Because it's like, oh, well, if like that's his just base instinct.
Yeah.
It's not like, he's just like, yeah, well, we just have to shag and that's it. It's like, how depressing is that?
And talk.
Well,
you forgot about the talking.
It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I find it depressing because it's like, in Before Sunrise, I don't think that would have been the answer.
No.
I think it would have been like, I don't know, something along the lines of like, well, if it ended now, that's fine because like, I've had a great chat with you. We've got to know each other. Whereas now he's just like, we just have to shag, wouldn't we? How depressing is that?
Just not the read I get from it, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. They talk about this idea that we're all the same people throughout our lives and that we can't like fundamentally change ourselves. So there's that, or another aspect of like this sort of cynicism of maybe getting older or like seeing how the world seemingly gets worse as we grow up. Maybe that's what we're experiencing now, where we go like, God, everything just keeps getting worse. But I'm not sure that it does. I think it just sort of plateaus and things get bad, but things have always been bad. But there's also, you know, so much that juxtaposes the bad, and you can say, oh, there's also all this stuff that's like really great and really good. And then what Celine does is like she's like an activist, right? Or she's like is like
she works like charity.
Yeah. She's like, how could you say that the world is like fundamentally getting better? It's always getting worse. Look at all this. Look at the war and the famines and stuff. And they're having this like sort of tete-a-tete where like Jesse's like, no, I think it's going to be okay. I think it's all right. And she's like very vehemently against that. But I think that's what's so great about this dynamic.
I think it is definitely getting worse. Not gonna lie. I
love her line in that scene where, because doesn't he say something like, "Oh, that's so French," or something along those lines? And she go, "I hate that." Or it's like, "Oh yeah, just because I'm French, like people tell me to smile more and all of this bollocks." And it's like, yeah, I don't know. It made me laugh. And also the fact that is it that scene or like maybe a scene very close to that. They find out that she was actually living in New York for like...
Yeah, it's that scene in the cafe.
For like a year or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was living in New York at the same time and they never bumped into each other. And that's to me like the first point where you can see how sort of gutted they are because in both of their heads I feel like they were like, fuck, if only I'd bumped into you back then.
Doesn't he reveal that he like saw a girl that he thought looked exactly like her?
And he was like, nah, it couldn't be.
It must have been her.
Awesome, man. Love it.
Is it awesome?
I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's so good. Because there's like, I guess it depends on how you look at the world or like how you look at how we traverse life, you know? It's like, well, sure, we're all like victims of circumstance and chance. These things get thrown at us throughout our lives. Who's to say that, you know, if things had gone differently, maybe we'd be in a different situation? Of course they would. But there's also like this idea of determinism and the idea that, you know, things just have to be the way they are and we can't change them. That's just how they're going to be. There's no point in dwelling on what if this, what if that. Like, it just ultimately doesn't lead you anywhere. It's they just told the story like that because that's how it goes, not necessarily because that's how they would like it to go.
But then imagine if, like, this never happened. Imagine this film never happened, and these characters never met again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they saw each other, or he saw her, and he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And he just lives his whole life in an unhappy marriage.
Well, yeah.
Because he didn't go over and say, "Fucking hell, it's you from Vienna."
Yeah, well, exactly.
That's a terrifying thought.
It is, but he does.
Yeah, I know, but think of the flip side, man. If that was that, and they never saw each other in Paris, I was like, oh shit, like the person who was like tailor-made for me, I saw them, I didn't do anything.
Right.
He'd be like sat on his deathbed being like, fuck, I wish I'd gone over and said something because it might have been her.
There we go. So it is also a product of the choices we make, that we drive ourselves in certain directions.
Yeah.
And he wrote the book in some ways hoping to find her. There's also a catharsis for him. It happened to work out.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the theme of the movie, is like trying to drive yourself in a certain direction, or like trying to claw back what you can from life to try and reach some semblance of like, I'm making these decisions and they're leading me in a direction that I want to be in, instead of just sort of going with the flow and being with, you know, my wife who I never really loved all that much and sort of had a son with, but then it's like he's in a loveless marriage. It's like I think when you just sort of go with the flow like that, you don't make these decisions for yourself. You ultimately end up really unhappy. But at least when you are making decisions and you're trying to drive your life in a certain direction, maybe it doesn't always work out, but at least you can say that you tried to do that for yourself.
Yeah, you gave it a go. Yeah.
So then you really have nobody else to blame but yourself at the end. I'd rather that than just say like, yeah, things happened around me, but I wasn't really present. Who knows? He's settled and he realises that was a mistake.
Yeah. Blimey. It's all getting very deep here, isn't it?
Very deep. But that's the movies, isn't it? They're deep movies are talking about all these sort of deep ideas. I think it does get you thinking about those sorts of things.
I think this one especially, because we're like kind of getting towards the age of these characters. Mm-hmm. I feel like definitely watching this film now, I could sort of relate to and like connect to sort of a lot of these conversations a lot more and kind of understand more of what they're saying and what they're thinking.
Yeah. I think there's an expectation around like that sort of age to have your life together as well. And there's like this idea that neither of them really do. They're just like, we're just sort of wandering through life. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. It just happened to sort of turn out this way, and now I'm sort of stuck. So they have to try to pull themselves out of it and go, okay, maybe this is what I want. Maybe I'm going to try and put myself in this situation.
Isn't it a horrible thought though that you'll never have your life together? Because on the outside looking in, you'd look at Jesse's character and go, okay, he's married with a kid. He's a successful author, but really in his life, he doesn't feel like he's got anything together.
Yeah,
that's a scary
thought. They talk about that, don't they?
Yeah.
She goes, I thought you had this perfect life. He goes, no, my life sucks.
Yeah.
My life is 24/7 bad. That's what he says.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Fuck!
I don't know if life is always perfect, to be honest. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be some sort of issue.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how we deal with it and take it.
Yeah. I think I need to just try and enjoy the good times.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Why worry about shit you can't control? Why not just enjoy the good times? And
there you go.
Why not?
We've had a breakthrough.
Yeah, there you go.
Kai's therapy session.
I was going to say, fucking hell, what's going on here? Am I at therapy?
We're actually
I'm on a big sofa as well.
No,
we're not recording. We just got you here for a therapy.
One elaborate ruse to get you to open up.
This is an intervention, Kai.
How much do I owe you?
No charge.
£200.
Yeah, it's great. I love the outfits as well. They're all like every movie I can picture the outfits. Yeah, so great. I like when they say you cannot replace anyone. What's lost is lost, and that's like another thing where it's like, yeah, you have these chances in life. If you don't take these chances, they'll be gone forever, and that's just how life is. Yeah. Sometimes. Just got it, and that's why, you know, at the end when he makes that decision to stay, and she's like, "Honey, you're gonna miss that plane." I'm like, "Fucking hell!"
Yeah.
He goes, "I know."
He says, "You're gonna miss that plane, baby."
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite like final lines in any film. Makes me cry every time.
Because she's doing a Nina Simone impression, isn't she?
That whole like final scene, like her playing the waltz and everything, that's like genuinely one of my favourite scenes in any film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when you were doing the Jarvis stuff, the whole first movie. I was like, I swear to God, if he does it during the waltz, I will actually kill him.
I stopped after the first film for the most part.
Jarvising us. We took a break after this movie, went outside, had a little fresh air.
Yeah.
Couple of ciggies. Listen to the waltz song from Spotify as Kai and Ed did a dance.
Yeah, you did a waltz.
We did.
It's great. It was great for that.
Yeah, I needed a break after this. The ending of this film just destroyed me.
Yeah, it was in pieces.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've cried like that much at a film.
I knew it was going to be an emotional one.
Mm.
I didn't know what Ed and Anne were going to think, but I think they both liked these movies. But again, it's interesting watching them with a couple as well, and you get to see sort of how they'll react and sort of relate to these movies. We got a good sort of group of people to watch it. I think it was quite interesting. Yeah, don't know. I think they liked it, but it was sort of definitely it affects you for sure.
Yeah, it gets
makes you think
about
things.
shit. I hate thinking about shit.
I know you do. Yeah,
it stresses me out.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. Like, I was thinking about shit too much. Shouldn't have done this. It's a bad decision.
You're trying to set me up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Trying to set my brain up to think about things.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I refuse.
Too bad, bro. Yeah. I think it's interesting watching this one now. Certainly a few years older than I was when I watched it for the first time, and to relate to it a lot more. We're like 3-4 years off from the age that they are in this movie, and that like gets in your head, doesn't it? Oh my God.
I'm only 28, so I'm technically sort of equidistant between the two, I would say. So
no.
Well,
you're closer to this one.
I choose to be equidistant.
To this one.
I choose to be equidistant, thank you. Thank you, but I choose to be equidistant.
Yeah. This one, I think whether the first one was about exploring like romance, this one's a lot more about exploring friendship. So they grow closer as friends as well. So I think it was nice to watch it with friends too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Rate this one out of Paris then.
Yeah.
Cool. Yes, probably my favourite of the three at the moment. It's like 80 minutes long. It's a breeze. Destroys me emotionally. But it's one of the best to ever do it. I think just watched it countless times. I don't know how many times I've watched this movie, and you can definitely see how Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke had their hands in this one, and sort of were allowed to flesh out the characters and sort of develop the characters and be like, I think that they'd be at this stage in their life, I think they'd be thinking about these sorts of things. So really enjoy that when actors are able to collaborate with a project like that. It makes it a lot more personal. You can see that they're getting more of their own sort of personal takes within the movie itself. I'm going to give it 10 Parises out of 10.
Yeah, this is my favourite of the three. I think first time I watched it was my least favourite, but rewatched it a year or two ago, just like fell head over heels in love with it, like connected to it so deeply, and like felt like I got a greater understanding of sort of what they were going for with it. Yeah, again, destroys me emotionally, but I love it so much. Kai rated the last one out of Billy Joel, so I'll rate this 10, the 1975s out of 10. They've got a song called Paris.
Oh.
Or the Chainsmokers. They've also
even
got
worse.
These systems mean nothing to you guys, do they?
Sorry, I don't know any bands with a song called Grease.
Okay,
I've got one for that. It's a 10 Parises out of 10. It's brilliant. This one probably makes me think the most in depth about things at this point in my life.
Yeah,
maybe that will change down the line, because I feel like the older you get, the sort of different film of the trilogy takes your fancy.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Before Midnight came out in 2013. Again, 9 years after the last. And Jesse and Selena married in this one, and they have 2 kids together. The movie starts off with Jesse dropping his son Hank off at the airport to go see his mother, and they take their daughters off to the Peloponnese in Greece to meet with friends and have a romantic night together. And it is again a lot of walking around, seeing beautiful sights and talking to each other. And at a stage in their lives where, you know, they've had a lot more time together, and now they have this big life. So we get to see how that's sort of developed over the years. The last one so far. What do we think of Before Midnight?
Stressful. This to me is like the complete opposite of Before Sunset, where it's like they have flashes of the Before Sunrise vibe where they're like in love with each other, but there's a horrible undercurrent of them having a lot of built up resentment to each other and a lot of sort of anger and disappointment at who they turned out to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of disappointment with themselves, a lot of disappointment with each other.
It's almost like the midlife crisis movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a bit.
Much of the film, like unlike the other two where it's pretty much just them two together, at least the first half of this movie, they don't really have any scenes just like them two on their own.
That's such a good
it's
point.
kind of like as soon as they're just them on their own, they kind of try and walk around like the old days. That's kind of where the cracks start to form, which is something I've always found interesting.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that, but you're so right. It's like the first half of the film is just them with other people in this sort of
they're with their kids
apartment.
or they're with like their friends like that are there in the villa or wherever it is they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess it's they've had all that time together to get to know each other now. It's been another 10 years or so. So probably sick of each other. But of course, it's in those first two movies, they want to spend as much time together because they had only just met. In here, you get like a broader scope of they're not the only two people we're looking at now. We are looking at all their friends and sort of family and seeing how their dynamics sort of have changed over the years. I think it's still like really interesting to see that from that perspective.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. I think it's interesting as well to see sort of, I don't know, it's like the light is gone from their eyes. That sounds bad, but it's like they don't have the same passion for life that they do in the first two.
Yeah.
Whereas even in Before Sunset, even though I called it cynical, there's still like a passion in their eyes where they're both passionate about what they do and about each other. Mm-hmm. Here it's just kind of like, I feel like they're in this middle-aged sort of like malaise where he doesn't really know what he's doing with his next book. Mm-hmm. Celine,
she's like between jobs.
Yeah, she's kind of not at the charity anymore and
she's got to decide whether to work for like this government agency that she hates.
And it's like, again, I kind of relate to this because I feel like I've just settled just a bit earlier than they did in life, you know? Like my ideals, my dreams are just gone. Do you know what I mean? Well, I'll be honest with you. I grew up and I listened to like classic punk rock and I was like, I fucking love The Clash. Yeah. I'll never be a corporate bellend like...
You used to be cool.
Yeah, exactly. And now what am I? I'm a corporate bellend.
Yeah.
And I just eat shit all day. That's what I do every day. Life gets you down, man. But enough about me. Let's get on to the film. Chris, take it away, my man.
I think I heard someone at one point like describe these movies as like the first two movies are almost like a dream and the third movie is like reality.
Horrible, harsh reality.
Sums them up perfectly. Like the first two movies, like you say, they're still getting to know each other, so it's like very exciting and like they don't know every single thing about each other. They only see sort of the good things because that's kind of all they're finding out about. But when you get to them in this movie, they know everything about each other. There's things about each other that they still love. There's things about each other they hate. And I feel like that's kind of what relationships are kind of like when you've been together as long as they have, or even just like an extended period of time in general. There's always going to be, you get to a point where you know each other so intimately that you don't love everything about this person anymore and you pick up on things that annoy you or that you don't like anymore.
That's life, eh?
Yeah.
There's also the insinuation that they cheat on each other or have cheated on each other.
Yeah.
Sort of prior to us picking up with them again in this film, which is, I hated that.
I hate it.
Because I was like, to me, the first two films, that's like, oh, that's true love. Then in this third film, you're like, you're just like everyone else.
Yeah. Because it's all so nice and idealistic when you're getting into it.
Yeah.
Of course, living with each other for so long, you live with anyone for too long, they're going to drive you up the wall. There are certain parts of, even yourself, you just like, fucking hell, I'm sick of this guy. So like, obviously when you're living with each other and you get to know one another, it's, you find parts of them that you really love, or like you make you love them even more. But then there are also parts of them that you're like, oh, fucking hell, like this is really annoying me. This is really pissing me off. This is something I don't like about this person. But that's the gift and the curse of living in communities and living with people, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's what being a family is, I think.
Yeah, and I think the conversations in this one, there's no real philosophical question, sort of talks in this one. It is literally all about just real shit. Kids.
The hard shit of life.
Yeah, it's like kids.
Scheduling and kids.
Exactly, and it's like, it's a draining watch. Yeah. It's a draining watch.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, fuck me, this is depressing. If you two have ended up like this,
what hope is there for anyone else?
God knows what's out there for me.
You were the perfect couple.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be the ones to do it all.
They kind of walk around like throughout these like pieces of like Greek history, like talking about things they know about like the history of these places, kind of like they would have talked when they visit a place earlier on, but like it's like the reality of things always then comes in, and it's like the conversation then gets changed to something about them, something about their life. It's like they can't, as much as they want to sort of get back to how they were previously, they kind of can't. Too much time's passed and there's too much things going on in their life now.
So conversations go, I think if you've ever been in like a long-term relationship with somebody and you start talking to them, there are, these conversations that you have where it can turn on a dime, and it's like suddenly you bring up these like petty things, or like try to slight each other in some sort of way, or then you go back to just sort of casual conversations. But that's I think you develop a way of speaking to a partner as the years go on, where it's like, I only talk to you this way. This is the only, and we've like developed this over years. So it's like, they're like flipping between like sort of the more philosophical stuff that they talked about when they were younger. Jesse's still talking about like these ideas for books that he has, and then it's like they're also talking about like their kids and like stuff that, or like that they feel like their shortcomings with their kids, and then it's like, well, you did this and you did that, and that's why this is this way, and or whatever. Or I feel insecure about this, and then they go back to talking about just more. It's like, oh, remember this was great back when we did that, and it's just like, it's these conversations are a lot more complex, I think, than the conversations that we were hearing in the other two, where it's like you run through so many things in one go, and it's like it gets very fraught, I think.
Yeah, but I think maybe that's probably why I relate to this one the least. Well, at this time in my life, anyways, because I mean the longest relationship I've ever been in is 9 months, so it's like really not that long in the grand scheme of things. I've never had like a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever really got to that point. And when I was in that relationship as well, I was like 19.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, it doesn't really, I mean, it counts, but it's like, it's a very different vibe from being like 19 to being like the age we are now when you're in a long-term relationship.
Things that we were talking about when we were 19, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think when I first watched this movie, I was like in a year or so into my relationship at the time, and I related to this one the most because the relationship at the time was in a bit of a weird place. So like it was very much like I was watching this and I was like, this is kind of what our conversations are like it's all great and we're all happy, and then just suddenly something petty and small will come up and we'll just start fighting and arguing.
Yeah.
It's like a horror movie. This is more a mirror than any of the others.
Yeah.
It's more fraught. You were fucked, mate. Kai, you you're on the floor.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like so horrible to witness. I think a lot of it is, I go back and forth between thinking it's like a really horrible thing to watch and like also really funny. And I think I was laughing a lot in this one because it's like I see a mirror to certain conversations that I have had in the past with partners, and I'm thinking like maybe we're not all that different, all of us. And I think that's something that we can take comfort in or solace in, maybe. Where it's just like this sort of funny idea that we're all sort of in it together, but it's like they're having these conversations. I'm like, I've had these sorts of conversations before. It's pretty funny. I kept laughing, and Cara was like, "Why are you laughing? This is horrible."
Some of it is quite funny, to be fair.
Yeah. I don't know why I find it so horrible. I think from like, not to get like too personal or too deep, but like,
Please.
I've got some issues with my dad, and I think just that it being set in Greece, it reminds me a lot of like my family and like shortcomings I've had with my dad, and
it's a lot about that, I think.
And it's like at the end of the day, my dad's just a bloke. Maybe he tried his best, maybe he didn't, but like I think I hold a lot of resentment against him for how things ended with my mum. But it's more like, I think maybe if I was in his shoes or I was his age and I'd been in a relationship for that long, maybe I'd get it more. But I don't know. Yeah, so I think that fucks me up when I watch this one, because I'm like...
That and you were like 10 cans deep.
Yeah, I'd had a lot of alcohol. But even when I watch it sober, I mean, I'd rarely watch this one sober because it...
Only when you're really blackout.
Well...
You just want to feel something horrible.
Yeah. Because it really fucks me up. And I think it does go back to that with my dad. And it's like, I don't know. It's a bit miserable to think about.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll understand it one day from his point of view. But probably by the time I do, they'll be dead. So I can't even discuss that with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a weird one.
Yeah. Well, that's, again, it's all about like time and personal development over time. This is, I think, is... more about like being a parent as well, or like the hardships of being a parent. Couldn't do it myself. It's too hard.
Yeah, that opening scene always gets me when he's in the airport with his son and he's sort of like, make sure you do this and like text me when you're there and blah, blah, blah. And it's like a whole thing. And it's like, he clearly feels incredibly guilty about sort of just shipping his son away.
Yeah.
Even though they've just had an unreal summer by all accounts. And it's like, I don't know. And then it's kind of like the relationship that he has with his son's mum and how like Celine is more involved in that relationship than Jesse is.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get why that would build resentment.
Oh, for sure. Like Hank calls Celine instead of Jesse when they're in Greece. And he's like, why didn't he call me? Or like, why wouldn't you let me talk to him as well?
Yeah.
That was strange. Yeah. It's just these things that like develop. They don't have to like say why they're doing these things. You just have to sort of interpret that there's a history behind the actions that they're taking.
Yeah.
These are by no means perfect people. They are doing things that are like, you might consider rude, you might consider mean, but it is all like enriching the tapestry of their relationship. And you get this like, the implication of what they've been through over the last 10 years.
I think at the end of the day, that's why I also love this film as well. And it's like, they're just proper human people. And it's like just watching like real humans interact. And it's all just very real, very human. I don't think any trilogy has ever sort of distilled what it means to be human as well as this.
No, I agree, for sure.
Which is a bold statement, but fuck it, I'm standing by it.
To be fair, I don't think there's many trilogies where all three of them are as like great as this either.
Yeah, no.
No, we're exploring these sorts of themes. I mean, there's so many ideas that are thrown around throughout these three movies. There's so much to like latch onto and so much to relate to, without it feeling as though it's like pandering to a broad audience. I think the more niche you get with these things, the more you're able to flesh out these characters, the more relatable they become. Not necessarily by dint of like who they are as people, but the fact that they are people and we all have these different complexities within us. That's why I think it's so interesting to watch them again and again, and why they're so relatable.
Yeah, 100%. Like you say, there's different wrinkles to it, and you pick up on a new wrinkle every time you watch it. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's layered.
Yeah, I do like the argument that they have at the hotel room, although it's horrible. But it's like, you're like, oh God,
No,
this is like,
I can't do it.
It's so sad and like what fraught. But it's like, again, they're not like, they're not good people, they're not bad people. They're just people who are like trying to navigate and like trying to come to terms with all these different things. And, you know, it makes, Anne didn't like Jesse the whole time.
No.
Any of these movies, she didn't like him. I'm like, why not? But I think she thought that he was quite arrogant. But I'm like, I don't think the point is to like the characters. I don't think the point is that to look at them and go, yeah, I'd like to hang out with you. I think it's about exploring
That
the person, the dynamic, and then the relationship. Yeah. But like throughout all of this movie, I was like, this guy is like, he's really sad because he's had to leave his son. But then it's also like, he's also not helping himself when he's talking to Celine, and she's really upset because she feels like she's not being listened to, and he's like this great author who's got all these ideas or whatever, and she's like in this halfway point where she doesn't know what she's doing, and he just won't give her the time of day about it. And it's like, it doesn't mean that he's like a terrible person. It just means that it's like a richer thing to look at. Because if they were all just like agreeing with each other the whole time, it would be boring.
Yeah, 100%. You need that, don't you? You need a disagreement.
But she's there, just going, "Oh, well, you shat the bed here, mate. You've totally fucked it."
Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys like boxing?
No.
Yeah, I enjoy watching it when I've been round yours and we've watched it, but that's about as far as I go with it.
So there was a heavyweight boxer back in the day called George Foreman.
Yeah, he made the grill.
Know. Yeah, exactly. He made the grill. He fought a guy called Ron Lyle. And it's one of the most insane heavyweight fights of all time. And it's just, they're knocking the shit out of each other. They're both down on the ground, then they're back up again. Then the other one knocks the other one down. That hotel scene is like watching that fight where it's like they're just throwing haymakers, emotional haymakers, and fucking each other up.
She keeps storming out and then
coming back in. Yeah, it's
great because it escalates and then it calms down a bit, and they sit next to each other. They pour themselves wine and they get into it again. And it's like, you know, she's getting naked, and then they put their clothes back on.
Yeah, that's. This is what I mean when I said earlier that this is by far the least sexy one, because this is the first one with nudity in.
Yeah.
And yet it's the saddest nudity you've ever seen in your life, because it's like halfway through a loveless sex scene and then they just have a massive argument and she's got her jebs out. And you're like, for God's sake, this is awful.
I don't know if I'd say it's a loveless sex scene.
No.
Like, I think regardless of how much this argument escalates, I still think they love each other.
Oh, I disagree.
Especially like from the very last scene where he's like goes to that, like finds her at the outside like restaurant bar sort of area, and he's like trying to make an effort to like distract her and just get her to forgive him or forget about it.
Do you not think that that's an incredibly sad scene where it's like, because it's like he's just relying on old shtick. They're relying on nostalgia to get their relationship going again.
No, I'll tell you why. Because I think at the end of the day, all we can do is try.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
That's what it is. You fuck up, but you have to decide, okay, do I love this person? And if the answer is yes, you will try everything in your power to get to a point where you understand each other and try to make it work. It's not perfect. Maybe it's not going to end, and it's like maybe and they'll argue the next day, but they'll try. At least honest, for now, they'll try.
I think they get divorced after this film ends.
Really?
That's the way I see it.
I also think sometimes when things are this sort of bad in a relationship, the only thing you can really do is just be like, let's just put a pin in all these problems and sort of start again, try and discover each other again, like as if we are meeting for the first time.
Yeah, but is that not just putting a plaster on a massive problem? It's like when a football team has a massive issue and you get a couple of good results and you're just plastering over the cracks. It's like those cracks are still there.
I don't think so. I think it makes it easier to deal with it and sort of work on it. When things escalate that much where you're shouting at each other, I feel like the best thing to do is sort of step away from it a little bit and be like, right, let's sort of start from scratch and work on this.
Again, that might just be my own experience with sort of these sort of relationships. Like I've never been in that position. So
No.
yeah.
I've not been married for 10 years either.
No, neither of us. No,
Well,
none of us
no,
are.
but you guys have been in like years long relationships now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And there are points where you just have to think to yourself, is this an argument that is happening because we have lost love for each other, or is it happening because of something else? And if it's not because you love each other, if it's because you don't love each other anymore, what's the point? But if you feel that, and you both agree, yes, we do love each other, there's something to work for. And sometimes it doesn't work, but I think there's, I don't know. I think when you ask me, like, you've been in years-long relationships or whatever, I'm like, it's hard to sort of recall those sorts of things because it's been a while. But I think in terms of trying to figure out what you want from a relationship, there are points where you are tested and you go and you have to think to yourself, is it worth just packing it all in, or is there something here? Sometimes there's not, but sometimes there is. And that's, again, to do with sort of the chance of it all and the decisions that we make. I don't know. I don't know it all. I barely know anything.
have we even talked about the films? Or
Yeah, I always, like, as sad as like this film is, I always like find that ending scene, as sad as it is a little bit, I also I always get a bit of hope out of it, like that they are gonna sort it out.
No.
There is still something there, and they will fight for it.
I think it's worth the struggle because they do love each other. I do think that's true.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want them to do another one. I would want them to leave it at this because
I want them to do another one because I think they divorce at the end of this.
That's.
I would like to know.
I think if they do
together.
another one, either they'll be together or they won't be together, and answering either of those questions just kind of ruins the ending of this film.
True. Actually, to be fair, yeah. Did you guys see? Do you know the chicken shop date girl?
Yeah,
Amelia de Moldenberg.
Yeah, so she hosts like an Oscars thing.
Yeah,
and she interviewed Ethan Hawke, and I think she asked sort of like, what would your advice be to anyone who's like in an unrequited sort of love? And he said the most Jesse thing I've ever heard from like Before Sunrise, and he was like, whoever's in love wins, because he's like, I think he said something like, the sun doesn't care whether or not the grass enjoys its rays.
What the fuck?
But no, don't you think that's beautiful? And he's like, just being in love and just like having that feeling, regardless of whether the other person loves you back or not, is the best feeling because you're putting something nice out into the world. And it might feel shit sometimes, but you're out there. You've put yourself out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Didn't he cheat on Uma Thurman and leave her for someone else?
Right. Okay. Class.
I could be making that up. I'm pretty sure
he did. Yeah, he did cheat on Uma Thurman. Because Howard Stern grills Uma Thurman about it. He's like, why did you let that little midget cheat on you? And he's not even that small. He's like 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
Oh, he's an interesting guy. I like that.
I really like Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, it's fun. No, it's good. I think I agree, but I also disagree with him on that one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But yeah, again, they talk about a lot of these movies is like a lot, but more so in this movie is they talk about like the dynamic between men and women, the dichotomy of men and women, and the idea of like how different men and women are or can be. I think it's interesting to have those sorts of conversations.
Yeah.
And I do think they have them sort of throughout the trilogy, but it gets like very pronounced in this one.
Yes, definitely.
It's interesting. There's like just so much like complexity to these relationships and relationships that you could get into yourself, or you know, we've all got friends who are women, friends who are men, been in been in relationships, at least us three, with women, and it's like, yeah, there are these parts of life where you just like you feel like you're very different. You feel like there's not always a way to like connect in certain circumstances, and I think that's where sometimes arguments can arise, and that's sometimes where arguments can crop up in this trilogy as well. I really enjoy the exploration of that, to acknowledge that like we are all the same sort of fundamentally, but there are these very obvious differences where
definitely.
we come together in between that. That's where the magic happens. That's where the love goes. I really love it.
Yeah, I agree.
Did we really even speak about the films, or is that just like a big therapy
I never
session?
thought, honestly, when I recommended these, I thought maybe 20% we'll talk about what actually happens in the movie. But that's not the point of the movies.
Yeah.
Because I've really enjoyed this episode.
These movies, is there really much you can say about them?
Yeah, that is true.
It's just...
No.
Because they're all filmed the same way.
Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy are really great in like all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible performances, great writing. But that's kind of all you can really say, because they're so simple. They're just these two characters walking around talking for 3 movies.
Because I was going to say, I feel like I've really enjoyed this episode, but I'm worried it's become sort of a Joe Rogan experience where it's like we've just rambled on for 3 hours about like he doesn't talk about
Should I
deep
start
philosophical
performing
stuff.
Jedi mind tricks like Kanye did?
Yeah. Start doing his gorilla noise. Shout out Joe Rogan, you bald-headed fuck.
On that note, I think we'll rate this one out of Peloponnese. Out of Greek Peloponnese.
Okay.
Who's got a song about that, huh? Nothing. You got nothing.
Yeah.
There we go.
Quick, get Spotify up.
No,
I can do it.
no, you can't.
I can. Just
no,
watch
you
me.
can't.
I can.
All right. This is one of the best movies ever made. It's scary, and it's like a horror movie to me. I love it. It's hilarious. It gets to grips with the parts of love that are not always lovely, you know. But sometimes we just got to go through it. Brilliant movie. I think this is a perfect trilogy. Giving this one 10 Greek Peloponnese out of 10.
Yeah, I second all of that. I think it's incredibly beautiful, honest, heartbreaking, an open movie. One that I really, really love, but not one that I would willingly return to as much as the other two, I don't think.
No.
It's the one I've seen the least. I've only seen this like twice, or I've seen the other two like 3 or 4 times now, because it's such a hard watch, as great as it is. But yeah, 10 Greek Peloponnese out of 10.
Cool.
Yeah, I like this film. It's good. Makes me sad. I would give this 10 Mamma Mia's.
Fuck
out
off.
of 10. Because do you know why?
Because they're in Greece.
And also, ABBA have a song about a Greek island, I think.
Yeah, what's it called? Peloponnese? Fernando.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
sure.
know.
Why not?
Surely. But yeah, no, I'd give this 10 Greek Peloponnese islands out of 10.
DJ Khaled has a song called Grease featuring Drake.
Fuck's
There you
sake.
go. I rate that 10 DJ Khaled out of 10.
Fuck that
Cool.
guy, man.
A perfect trilogy, perhaps the best. Maybe.
Lord of the Rings.
This is better than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Godfather.
Yeah, this is significantly better because Godfather 3 exists.
You've lost your Russ Clark dickhead mind.
Cool. Thanks for that, lads. We got there eventually. Next time, don't know when it's going to be. Might be another 10 months. Who fucking knows?
No, it won't be that long.
I hope not, because we've finally gotten to my recommendation.
We'll be
What's
back
your
on
recommendation?
it. Here we go.
So, last time I did serial killer movies, I'm going for another theme this time. Just because I like that it kind of means I can pick just 3 completely random, unrelated movies.
Sure, that defeats the purpose of a theme.
They're kind of related. That's a
what's the
loose
theme
theme.
then? What's your fucking theme?
So they're all films about families or family dynamics.
Oh God, it better not be the Family Guy movie.
Stewie Griffin, The Untold Story.
Fuck off. Was that actually? Oh.
No, of course not. They all happen to be from the 90s. Didn't do that on purpose,
Okay.
but So we're going to start off with the 1990 film by Tim Burton, Edward Scissorhands, followed up by the 1993 film directed by Chris Columbus, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Let's go.
It's a banger.
I've not seen that since I was about 7.
It is an incredible movie. And we're going to end it off with the 1999 movie directed by our Lord and Saviour, David Lynch, The Straight Story.
Oh, cool.
Oh, lovely. I've not seen that
I know
either.
you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Came out on 4K recently.
Hell yeah.
And it is a great film.
It's one of my blind spots. Cool. Well, be sure to watch Edward Scissorhands, Mrs. Doubtfire, and The Straight Story. Subscribe to the channel. Give us money to afford a table, and we'll buy a table, and then that will significantly improve our lives. Maybe even chairs. Just throw in a couple of quid for some chairs. My back is killing me. Yeah, cool. Any last words?
If you've made it this far, leave a comment that says "Shabanya."
Yeah, go and do that, and we'll see you in April.
I hope so.
Maybe.
All right, Kodak Black. I hope so.
Later.
Bye.